Hey, everybody, welcome back. Hey, I am excited about today's episode because one of the things we're going to look at today is practicing what it is that you think you want to provide for your customers. Um, in my journey right now, one of the things I've been doing is I was called to be a coach, and I've been called to be a teacher for about 6 to 8 years. But I even had where I went out and I would go to like school districts or things like that and be like, hey, anybody looking for any? And it's kind of hard to believe, but they're like, oh, we're kind of good right now. And, if you want to be a substitute and all that kind of stuff for a while, and it just didn't really feel like it was a fit to what I need to do right now. So, um, not very long ago, had where it was like, hey, actually coaching as in business and life. And it was interesting because I've been through a spiritual awakening. I've been through a lot of kind of dark times where I know that I could help people walk through some of the um, more rough stages of their life and give them some good tips and coaching and counseling for it's like how to move forward and all that. And as much as as like I love doing that, I love helping people. But then I have this business background where I'm a photographer for 20 years, had a business full time for 10 years. I've been an enterprise architect, Lean Six Sigma black belt, all these kind of things are very business related, so I can help people in their business and it's like how to move forward. So one of the things I want you to do is whatever it is that you're doing, you're looking to have your business or you are having your business. Take a breath and think through on your business, what do you enjoy providing the most to your clients? And then what do people usually come to you for? I mean, this is kind of funny to say because maybe you've been in business for 6 months or a year or 6 years or whatever the case is. Sometimes you get to a point where you're like, hey, I like this part of it and not that part of it. And when people come to me, maybe they usually come to you for advice on something else or help with something else. And you have to stop and think, what is it that they're doing? Actually, a good example is my father in law, which I think is kind of interesting. He was in computers for his whole career, he was doing computer programming type work, but he had a passion for like housework, remodeling, all that kind of stuff. And it's funny to think what would have happened if at some point he stopped and was like, let me kind of focus on that a little bit more. And he had a life where he was passionate about being a handyman or doing construction or something like that instead of computers where it's like he may not have felt as fulfilled. So just kind of tossing that out there because in mine, I have where I set out and I kind of lean towards being a spiritual healer, counselor, provider, right? And so I did a thing where I invited 10 people to get help from me. Be like, hey, it's like your business or personal or whatever the case is. What was interesting is everybody who came, there was personal stuff involved in it, but a lot of it was business related. And it was really cool because within like 15 minutes of just a quick conversation, I was able to be like, okay, here's what's going on. As a matter of fact, had a client yesterday. He's had his business for 6 years. And what's interesting is for his business, when I talked to him on the phone and then I kind of took a look into his business, saw that he was basically invisible. He doesn't really have a Facebook presence. He doesn't have a social media presence. He has a website where people can go and get a little bit of information and potentially do it. And then it's mostly just word of mouth that he's working on. And those days were great. And they're still fantastic if you have a business that needs to be word of mouth. But his business is in Bitcoin. And in doing that business, I mean, you can do it anywhere, right? And he's a really great teacher. He's a wonderful person to work with. And he can help you learn about Bitcoin and like what it's really about. And so we were able to kind of talk to him about, hey, let's get you out of out of your house business and into a bigger world. And then also let's stop and take a look at your demographic because it's like for him, he was like, oh, everybody could be into Bitcoin. And it's true. But really, there is a segment of people, probably, where I kind of looked at the numbers, and it's like basically ages from 25 to 35 that are in a range where they have some disposable income coming in, and they're not risk adverse when it comes to their profile for their financial future. So they don't mind kind of getting in and dabbling in. So we had that and about three other things that was just right off the bat, boom, boom, boom. Hey, here's where we can improve your business, and I'm really super excited. I can almost guarantee in like 6 months from now, he's probably going to be doing like $300,000 per year, and be like, hey, a 15-minute phone call, right? So that was really satisfying. But then for me on my journey, having where when I went forward and said, hey, okay, what am I being asked for? What is my zone of genius, what they call it? And helping people in those aspects was really a huge part for me. And so I anticipate that for you, we kind of have the same thing. Now, if you want help just finding out, hey, it's like let's get on the phone 15, 20 minutes and go, okay, what are you called to, and how can we potentially help your business? Just tap into the doobly doo below. I have a form down there, so I can kind of get a basic understanding of how I can help you, and let's get on the phone just for a free consultation and see how we can help you. Otherwise, we'll call it good for right there.